Hey witches and moon babes, welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be the second episode in our witchcraft series. So we're going to be talking about moon magic today. So I feel like a lot of the times the full moon gets a lot of the attention, which rightfully so. She is beautiful, she is bountiful, she is luminous. But there's so many other phases that are equally as potent and that may actually be better for your intentions or your manifestations. So let's talk about it. So, as we know, full moons are all about culmination, completion, fullness, and illumination. It is also about releasing and shedding and letting go. This is the point where it is the most vibrant. And the moon is feminine in nature. And if we're talking about the body, the moon rules the tides, it rules the cycles, but it also rules the blood, and it also rules the left side of the body. Left is feminine, right is masculine. So if you are feeling an imbalance on either side of the body, feel into which side that is. Is it more masculine or is it more feminine? It may be where you are needing to receive more. And sitting with the moon can really help to activate that. And especially with full moons, you can bask in the moonlight and it will help to activate your DNA. It will also help to restructure anything that is just kind of feeling stagnant in the body. So with the full moons, this is the time where we are really allowing the moon to ignite intentions, especially if we are wanting to charge crystals. A lot of the times, especially with softer stones like selenite. Selenite is beautiful. It does charge itself, but it's beautiful to be charged under the full moon because it is actually absorbing the moon's energies without any sort of water or without the sun beating on it. There's just certain stones that don't like the harshness of water or of the sun because it can actually bleach any sort of stones. Like if you're talking about amethyst or labradorite, these are all very feminine stones that you really want to try to keep this pigment because it's absolutely beautiful. This is my favorite stone. I love labradorite. So allowing the full moon to charge your stones is an excellent way to really commune with her. So, and then when we move from the full moon, we are moving into the waning side. So we're moving from full down back to the new moon. So waning is also about releasing and letting go. This is like that other side of that culmination period. So this is actually a better point to release and let things go. If you're working with the in-between cycles of the moon and also checking on what sign the moon is in. So we all know the sun moves into, right now we're in Sagittarius season, but the sun or the moon actually shifts signs every about 3 days. So you are moving into different signs every about 3 days. And also if you are doing any sort of workings with the moon, if you can't do it on that specific day, you can do it, 2 days prior or 2 days after. That energy is still potent. So if you've got some big crazy life event, don't worry, you can still work with it. So, but with the waning moon, this is where the moon is starting to dim its light. It's starting to go back into more of that, newness. It's not as luminous as she once was. So this is really good for releasing any sort of, tension. If you are really wanting a gradual release, this is a really good, potent time to do that. So, and then we have the half moon, which is a perfect balance of light and dark. So this is great for asking for emotional balance, emotional security, anything like that, to really help to even out the scales in your life. And these are really big movements that don't get as much attention just because, you know, the full moon and the new moon are so popular. But actually, some of these times are better to work with than, because we as humans are also waxing and waning. So just feeling into what your intention is, what it is that you are really wanting to manifest, that's when you're going to be more aligned with your intentions with the moon. So and then we move from the half moon to the crescent moon, and this can be like a gibbous moon. And as we are moving into more of that new moon, it's still waning, but when we come from the new moon, which is all about a freshness. So think of like, a fresh new egg, as it hatches, that is like that freshness, that is that new spark of it. And so we're actually, really moving into that brand new vibrancy. And even though the moon isn't full, there's really no light there, but it's the promise of a new abundant cycle. She trusts that she's going to move into fullness. But oftentimes you can't see the destination because it's not as luminous. So, and moving from the new moon, you start to gradually get more energies into moving back into the full moon. So you're gaining the energies of a waxing crescent moon. So that is all about gaining that momentum, and to if you are really wanting something to like light up and fire up, that moon cycle is going to be the best to work with, because you are actually gaining that energy and you're starting to really put it out into the universe. So, say that you are wanting something to speed up, like a process about, getting a home or something like that. You can begin to work with that energies to help build up that momentum, to build up that speed. So, but yeah, all of these different cycles are important to know, especially as practitioners, because we are not just full and we're not just moon. There's so much in between that we as humans, there's so much richness in the everyday cycles of life. And that can also be said about menstruation too. So if you are syncing up with the full moon for your menstruation, you are really in sync with the shedding, with the letting go. And if you're not in sync with it, that's totally fine. It doesn't mean that you are any less of a practitioner. But you will find that as you get going with this cycle, you may start to sync up with the moon. And actually it's also a period of like resting is needed too. So allowing yourself to feel into these cycles. And it's interesting because when you sit with your energies and how you're feeling emotionally, I always go back and check where the moon is. So if I'm feeling like feisty, or like I have a lot of energy, oftentimes the moon is in like a fire sign, and I'm like, oh well, that makes sense, it's an Aries, so of course I'm I'm feeling like spouting out the mouth or something. But it's interesting when you start to become in cycle with this, you understand how much you are in rhythm with it as well. So yeah, I hope that helped. And if you are interested, I am holding a new moon in Sagittarius ritual on December 19th. It is Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are really going to be holding up a intention for 2026. We're going to be igniting our intentions, and we're also going to be doing a guided meditation to meet Artemis and to have her guidance and to have her assistance in holding our focus for our intentions for the new year. We're also going to be writing ourselves a letter in the point of view of 2026 to read as we move through the cycles. We're going to be reading it a year from that date to see what has culminated, what has transpired, and to see, if our intentions were on track. So if that's something that you are interested in, the link for it is in the description box below. But if you have any questions about anything, you can always feel free to message me. And I also do tarot readings. So the whole channel is right here. But I hope to be doing more of these videos in the future. So blessed be. Bye.